So, well, hello there. Home from work, tired, sun in my face. I think we're actually getting rain here soon. I'm a little bit, like I said, tired. Been doing some manual labor, physical labor, so I'm a little bit beat. But of all the things in the world that people seem to care about on the internet, we are going to talk about browsers, because someone wanted to ask me why I use the Opera browser in some of my videos. I'm looking at my screen right now. 1, 2, 3, 4 browsers. I use 4 browsers, okay? And like most things I do, there is kinda a reason for the madness. There's something behind it. So, I will kinda, instead of going into like massive detail, which I probably will end up doing anyway, I'm just going to say why I do it. As quick as possible. So I use 4 browsers, okay? I typically only have 2 open all the time. Before any of you guys like, oh, why do we have 2 browsers open? It takes up a lot of resources and blah, blah. I have never had to close a browser on Windows or even Linux because it ran like dog shit. I do have a lot of RAM. You may not have a lot of RAM. I have 32 gigs or 34. I can't fucking remember. I think it's 32 gig. Actually, I can see it right here. 32 gig. I have 32 gig of RAM. So I have plenty of RAM to have shit running in the background. And no matter what I do, video editing, gaming, I am not using all of that RAM. Even when I'm running my virtual machines, they get typically 4 to 8 gigs of RAM. Okay, so I have plenty of RAM for it. So before you are after me and like, oh, you should not do it, it's too resource heavy. No. It's really not, especially under Windows. I will say this, Windows seems to handle more open windows or open tasks better than Linux. Something we could go into, but basically Windows just have better RAM management. That's how I will put it. So, why do I have 2 open all the time, or why do I use 2 web browsers all the time? So, I use Vivaldi for basically my social media, beside YouTube. But it's my email, it's my Google Calendar, it's my the Google Task or Notes or what it's called, that I take notes in. It has, what is it called? TweetDeck? Yeah, TweetDeck open. And once in a while I go into Facebook. That's basically all I use it for. And I like have it separate. That's all I use it for. And again, I like having it separate. It just makes sense to me to have it separate from my everyday browser. That's basically Google Chrome, that I do YouTube, and everything else in is Google Chrome. Why do I like to have it separate? Well, as you know, when you use a browser as your main browser, you get a shit ton of stuff in it. Like you start to have a lot of bookmarks. You know, the cookie starts to get, ramped up, and you have to clean them more often than you like and stuff like that if you use it all the time. You need to have a good cookie cleaning philosophy. You need to be aware of what you're doing and all of these things. But having my social media, my email accounts and stuff like that, like the important stuff beside YouTube on Vivaldi, it kind of protects me against the gunking up of cookies. It can also protect me against if I'm clicking weird-ass crazy links I should not be clicking. Because if I get an email, I copy-paste the link into my Google Chrome browser, and therefore, in theory, it can happen, but in theory, if there's like a phishing link in there to get my social account, I should be a little bit more protected. On top of, I always use 2-factor authentication, and if there's 3-factor authentication, what's kind of use them also. You get what I'm saying here. So it kind of just gives me like a physical barrier between my personal life and everything else I do on the internet. And like I said, Google Chrome is just, I use that for everything else. YouTube, I use it for searching and what have you not. Oh, by the way, my Vivaldi, I use that for online banking also. I just like keeping those separate, just to have that. Maybe it's just like a minute little extra security thing or privacy-minded things that I get from it, but I kind of like it. I've always done this, always had 2 browsers. It actually stems back from it when I did web development, when I took some courses for web development. You have to test your web pages in different browsers, and I found that it actually makes sense if you are on the internet quite a lot, at having at least two, separate your private life in one browser versus your public life in another one. That's kind of what I'm doing with Vivaldi. Is my private life browser, and Google Chrome is everything else. Besides, I do have YouTube on it there, because YouTube just seems to work best in my anecdotal experience. YouTube and Google Chrome, they just seem to work really well together. So then I use Firefox. Firefox is mostly my let's test crazy shit out. So I have a lot of extensions on it that help me with my privacy. I could use Brave, but Brave is not doing a good job. Like, go watch, there's a lot of articles and videos about that Brave is actually not that secure, more secure than if you're using Firefox or Chrome with extensions. And they still give you their own ads. You have to use an extension to get rid of their own ads. Where if I put an extension into, let's say, Firefox, I can basically get everything away. So Firefox for me is my junk browser. I use that to test DBS, dubious, crazy links that you guys send me or some people send me. Or if I want to experience a website where it's not influenced by my search history, it's not influenced by my online accounts being logged into. It's kind of like a little bit like a vanilla experience to the internet. Plus, like I said, I use a lot of extensions to kind of help with the ad blockings and stuff like that. If I want to test stuff out and I have a suspicion that these sites could be not so good sites, so I block the ads and stuff like that with the Firefox. I do not use Firefox that much. Like I said, it is my junk or experimental browser that I use that for. The one that a lot of people seem to be really confused about, I do use Opera for my video, especially on the Windows. So when you see an Opera browser, that means that I'm recording from Windows. Why do we open Opera? Because Opera is only being used for one thing when I do videos. So you don't get my search results. Basically, it's to protect my privacy. You won't see, like, if I put in anything in the search bar, you will not see me have been searching for penis enlargement and Viagra discounts and stuff like that on the internet. You don't get, my private search results in there. It's not tainted, again, by my online presence, my YouTube presence, my social media presence and stuff like that. And I use it without extensions also, without ad blocking and stuff like that. So when I use it for YouTube videos, you theoretically should get the most vanilla experience. When I'm using Opera, I know for a fact that there is nothing in there. I don't use it for anything else than my YouTube videos. So the only thing you can get exposed to by mistake, if you want to say it like that, is previous videos I made, subjects from previous videos. That's the only reason why I'm using it. It could have been any other fucking web browser. It just happens to be Opera because I tested Opera out one day and I never uninstalled it. So that's the only reason. Again, I don't know why people care that much, but yeah, that I use 4 browsers, and I use them for that reason. Another point, that's why my format is the way it is here. Why my videos are like they are here. First of all, I can show information over here, or have a globe running if it's like a vlog and stuff like that. But this is my home. If I went full 1080p and stuff like that, you are seeing my whole apartment. You are seeing I live in a one-room apartment. So I'm inviting hundreds, thousands of people into my whole apartment. I'm not joking. If I move my camera over here, where it used to be, and I do wide-angle lens 1080p, you can see everything in my apartment. I don't want that. Why should you guys see everything in my apartment? It's my home. It's my private little space. I don't want everyone to know everything. I don't want you to know where my fucking coffee machine is, or how many dirty dishes I have and stuff like that. And it's kind of the same mentality I go with the browser. You don't need to know some stuff. Would I be like afraid if I used Chrome or Vivaldi on a video? Probably not. It would just be a little bit irritating for me, because I kind of like to separate my life, my personal life, away from what I'm doing here, because they're two different things. See you all later. Bye bye.